Hello everybody, this is Khashir. Welcome to part 4 of GUI programming with inventory. Actually, this should be part 7 of GUI programming, but as we are developing some kind of inventory manager and we TK Inter, so this will be part 4 of inventory manager. First thing first, I want to fix something I wrote. There is a mistake in add method. So the mistake was when we are appending the name and price, quantity, and info, actually we have to append the string version. At least when we want to have some kind of data check. So the one problem was every time we append the second item, it just shows the message that the item is already in inventory, even when the item wasn't in inventory, because it was kind of how can I explain it? It could found the object itself, the self.name, as an object, not as a string. So it was always same thing. So because of that, I'm going to change it. And also another one is, as this kind of mini database grow, and imagine you have 200, 300 objects in the inventory, for example, every time you're going to check and build this list with if and append, it will take a little bit longer time. So it's not efficient way to write this method. So then I'm going to clean this up here, and instead I'm going to use list comprehension. And one benefit of list comprehension is, imagine you are creating one list with for loop. Every time you are appending the new object to the list, and you have to also calculate the index. And actually the system is calculating, the Python calculating everything for you, but it takes time. But when you are creating list with list comprehension, it's not generating, actually it creates all this list, all the elements, and after we add all of them in one go to the list, so it's faster. And also we don't need to repeat some of our for example, when we want to get a print, if the system finds a new object, like print the object in the inventory, eventually when we want to do it with for item in list, it will going to print it over and over, so something like that. So it's better we do it in another way. So we write data check. This is going to be a list which we are using for getting the one object from the list and compare it to the new object which is going to be in the list, something like that. You will see. Data check is list comprehension. If you don't know it, it can be a little bit tricky, but it's basically same as creating a list with for loop, but the syntaxes and parameters are upside down a little bit. So you will see. Item for item in self dot container if. Now if string version, string of item with 0 index, which is name, sorry, I didn't see this. Okay, is hold on a sec, is string of self.name, then the data check will be this item. So we store the item which already meet this condition. And after, we can write very simple if statement. If just the length of the data check is 0, then self.container.append as a list, self.name, self.price, self.quantity, and self.info. Something like that. So it's checking if the data check is empty, means there is no match. So after that, it will append the new item to the list. All right, for example, here we can have some indicator, or for example, else, say print, else print item is in inventory, something like that. But after, when the operation is finished, we have to clear the data check list, and we can do it by different way, or assign it to the new list as empty list. But this way, data check dot clear method is better way. So what's happening here? We are creating one list with list comprehension here, just for checking if the new item is already available in inventory. And after, we are checking for the length of the data check. If the length of the data check is greater than, it's 0, not greater, it's 0, it means if data check is empty, then means there is no match. So after, we can add the new item to container. And if there is a match, which if the length of the database is not 0, then it's just printed the item is in inventory. And after all this these two if else statements, it's going to clear the data list. So let's see. For example, we say item 1, price 1, add there's a quantity. Okay, I have some typo somewhere. Line 91. Self dot yes, quantity. Then item 1, price 1, add, no error. Item 2, price 2, add, nothing. Again, item 1. Item is in inventory. So this is a better way. Now we can be sure that there is no duplicated in the inventory. Now, however, for example, later on we can write another method as like kind of option, give us like open new window and ask, okay, you have this item in the inventory, you want to modify it, or you want to add same name new item in the inventory. So that's something for later. We will see if we going to do it or not after I finish the original program. And here, instead of this print item, let's do it with message box. So tkinter dot message box dot show info. Here, the first line is the title, so message, and the second one is message itself. So the message, what is the message is item is in inventory, something like that. Let's try one more time. Okay, let's add again item 1, price 1, add now item 1, add, where is it, item 1, add. Okay, item is in inventory. Okay, somehow is cool. And also let's inventory. Okay, we didn't save, so we don't have any text data file. All right, the add method, it's kind of okay now, but still we can develop it later on. The next thing I'm going to do in this video is developing the list item. Now let's imagine we have 2-3 lists and we just want to get a list of all our objects at once, and we can like scroll down up and find specific option. Let's say we don't want to use search, for example. How we can do it? We can use Scrollbar from tkinter. So for that we need to open up and having the new window. Then let's create another window. We can call it root, or you can call it whatever you want, root tkinter.tk, and after Scrollbar equal tkinter dot scroll bar, and where this scroll bar going to be on root window, which is actually the new window, secondary window what we will have. And again, same as other widgets, scroll bar dot pack, and side this time going to be right. And now we need another widget which called listbox. Listbox is, as its name sounds, is just listbox. You can add items and for example append items from your list and display it on the list box and scroll it up and down, find the list. Then list box equal tkinter dot list box with capital L, and where is going to be on root window again. Now list box have one method called config. So actually you're configuring the width and some attributes of listbox. So listbox.config, here the width we can put it for, set it for 30 for example, and at the end listbox.pack. So this way we have one empty list box. Let's see if it's working. One typo somewhere. List box, yeah, where is it? My typo, line 125. List box, here. Okay, when we click, even when there is nothing to display, we have empty list box. Okay, now let's add some stuff in it. What we are going to add? We are going to add directly from container to to list box, and the way we are going it with very simple for loop. So for item in self.container listbox dot insert, here is it, and it means to the end of the last item and item. And after, again, we need to do something. Again, listbox dot config y scroll command equal scrollbar dot set, means we can have we can basically click on scroll bar and move it vertically, I think. And after scroll bar dot config, again command equal listbox dot y view. It's kind of a little bit confusing, but when you do it a couple of times, it will be very simple. Now we have the scroll bar, but because we don't have any item, so we don't see anything. Let's add some item, like item 1, price something, quantity 10, info nothing. We add item 2, price something, quantity 10, again info something this time. And we add item 3, price 0, it's for free, quantity we don't have it, because of that it's for free, and info nothing. So basically they are selling nothing. Add and list. All right, we have it, and still we don't have this scroll bar because there is enough space for moving. When we have more option, let's go down. After that, the scroll bar will be active. Anyway, okay, so I think it's kind of enough again for this video, and you can just play around with these new widgets, and I'll continue in next video. So thanks for watching, and if you like my videos, please subscribe. I'll see you in next video.